Morning. Thank you, Liz. Always such a pleasure to have you be the first voice I hear in the morning. I love it. I love it. And Nicole, thank you as always for just inviting me, including me. Both Liz and Nicole did a lot of work to set up this program, and it's been going. It's been humming for the past 6 months or so, even longer, I feel like. So always thrilled to be here with USO families. And for wherever you are coming in, you are not alone. We are here with you. We are in our little kitchen counter, even though it's virtual. We're here together, surrounding it, cooking, being inspired, sharing stories. I'm thrilled to be here. So today, we wanted to kind of center a meal around back to school, back to work. It's kind of weird to say back to work, right? Like, I know some people are starting to go back to the office. So we wanted to give you guys a really fast, easy recipe that anyone can rock out, really healthy, and super mobile. So we're doing edamame falafel. And I think those are two words that are like edamame falafel. Like, who really cooks with either one of those? So edamame, does anyone know what edamame is officially? What is edamame? These little green bits. Who can unmute and tell me?
Is it a bean, a soybean?
Yeah! Woo! I love it. Good job, buddy. Yeah, so they're soybeans. And actually, soybeans are one of the most popular crops in America. So by eating more soybeans, it's actually really supportive to American growers and American farmers. Now, falafel. I know a lot of us have heard of falafel, but who can define what falafel is? Where does it come from? Who can kind of describe it? Come on, party people. You guys have all been around the world. All right, I'll take it. So it usually comes from the Middle East, and it's a chickpea fritter. It's like a little chickpea donut that's fried. It's savory. It's not sweet. And you serve it in pita. You have it on the street for lunch, for breakfast. All vegetarian, super healthy. Even though it's fried, it's very healthy what goes into it. Fresh herbs, garlic, things like that. So we're kind of making one with edamame and falafel. So typically falafel is not made with edamame, it's made with chickpeas. We're replacing the chickpeas with edamame so they're green, they're vibrant, even more healthy. So these are an absolute blast to make. So let's go over what you need for this, all right? So look on my screen, and if I'm not your biggest screen, double click mine, so my little square, or hit the 3 little dots and pin my video so you can really see everything really clearly. But I've got about 2 cups of edamame. You can buy these frozen, so they're already peeled, so you don't have to do any of the work. I got 2 eggs, 1 lemon, a little bit of flour, some baking soda, cumin. We'll talk about cumin. I love cumin. Fresh mint, totally optional, but really sets this thing off. 3 cloves of garlic, a cucumber, yogurt, love it, and then a tomato, some pita, and lettuce. There's a lot of things in here that are absolutely optional, but I want to pause for a sec. Did everyone find everything here? Thumbs up, even if it's a virtual thumbs. Yeah, did everyone find the sweet? You guys kick butt. I love it. So, first step is we're actually doing this in the oven. So I want everyone to preheat your oven to 450 degrees. Jason, for you in England, I don't even know what that would be in Celsius, but 450 degrees Fahrenheit. You got to Google what that would be. So I'm going to do mine as well. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to go to bake. 232 Celsius, I was told by Miss Heather. So mine's baking at 450. Can anyone tell me, a lot of the times in our ovens it has convection or just bake. What's the difference? Who knows? What's with all these buttons these days? No one knows? Throw it in the chat if you're not comfortable saying. No one knows. Okay, so here's the deal. Convection means a fan turns on, like a legit fan in the oven, and it just kind of like circulates and air goes around the oven, and it makes it so it's very even heat. You actually get a much better browning with convection. The problem is sometimes you don't want the fan. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you put cookies in the oven. Well, the fan can kind of blow the cookie over. So you have like a leaning tower of Pisa cookie. Does that make sense? So that's why if you have something soft that can kind of be blown over, you just do bake. But anything else, typically it's convection, which really gives you that even heat. So if you have convection, put it on at 450. Cool? Thumbs up? All right. So what I want to start by doing is hopefully everyone has a food processor. All right? This is not a blender. It's the guy that comes with the little cutting guy in there, right? The little blade. So if you have a food processor, grab it. If you don't, man, you could probably mash this by hand, but it would take a while. So I would say food processor is pretty key to make this recipe, but it's worth it. They make them now for like $30. You can find some good ones. All right, so I want to add all of our edamame, about 2 cups, into the food processor. Cool. So everyone in the pool. And next up, I want to give a little squeeze of lemon. Now, whenever I squeeze lemon, you guys, I always roll on it. It gets all the juices out of the lemon. So we only need about half. So just kind of squeeze this guy, give it a little bit of a couple little drips. Doesn't have to be the whole thing. Just going to give it some good flavor. And what I want to start by doing is just blitz up these edamame. So I'm going to put the lid on, kind of break it down. Cool. So I'm going to do a top down so you guys can see what mine looks like. You guys can see it's ground up at this point, right? And I'm going to hold it to the side so you guys can really see this. But this is kind of the texture of that edamame. So it's really ground up fine. Cool. So take your time. Grind that up. How we doing? Everyone all right so far? My USO?
I'm having some technical difficulties with mine.
I told this crew before, but I go on the Today Show once a month, and I cook with Hoda, and I cook with Savannah and that whole crew. And one time I went on live about 5 years ago, and I had a major malfunction with the food processor. I am the king of messing up on the Today Show. So if you guys want to get a good laugh, go YouTube Joel Gamoran and the food processor. It should come up. It's not a pretty sight. It basically exploded. It was fun. Always a pleasure to be on there and humiliate myself in front of America.
Okay, but I have a question actually, because
Yeah.
every time I go to put my food processor on, the blade is popping up. So what am I doing wrong?
So put the base on first. Yeah. So what I would do is actually take out the edamame, put them back in the bowl. There you go. Now put the base on. This is why I love this. I can see my buddy Liz. And now put the blade on.
The best.
Okay, now put it back in. There you go, buddy. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, of course. All right. So once these are blitzed up, we're going to add a couple of ingredients, starting with cumin. Now, cumin is a spice I kind of feel like everyone needs to have. Everyone always asks me, if you had 3 spices, what would they be? Cumin would always be in my top 3. So ground cumin is delicious. You can put it over chicken, over fish, and marinades and salad dressings. So cumin is one that I think people don't realize, but it smells so delicious. So we've got about a teaspoon of cumin. We're going to add that in. We actually said half a teaspoon, but you can go with a teaspoon. And then I've got some flour. This is just all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And then one more little secret ingredient is baking soda. So this is just like a quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda. All right? So then I want you to blitz them up once again. So put the lid on top. Give it a quick blitz. Beautiful. Now, we're going to add some garlic and egg to this. I do want to kind of let you guys know, I mean, you haven't really seen me slice one thing, right? Our hands are clean. You're just throwing stuff in. So again, this is why we think this is such a great meal for back to school, back to work, whatever it is. This is fast. You can do this on a Sunday, make a big batch of them, freeze them, and then pop them in a lunchbox, and they're good to go. So Next up, eggs. Now, eggs are kind of tricky in recipes because everyone just goes to the grocery store and they just buy eggs. But sometimes eggs are big, sometimes they're small, and it affects the way that your recipe comes out. So with this recipe, I always start with one egg, and then I add the other if I need it. So everyone crack one egg, and I want you to crack it into a bowl. So I'm going to crack it into a little bowl. Why not crack the egg right into the falafel? Why not just crack it, boom? Who can tell me? The shell, for sure. And if you have a bad egg, all of your falafels toast, right? So I always crack my eggs into a little bowl. That way I just kind of ensure it's a good egg. Cool? So I'm going to add one egg in. We can always add the next. I'll let you know if you need it. And then I've got 3 cloves of garlic. So all you got to do with the garlic is you're literally just going to take something heavy. I'm going to use the back of this bowl. And I'm just going to kind of lean on the garlic, break it open, and just start peeling it. So people always ask me, and this is a question I got from you guys at the USO, how do I plan out my meals for the week? Well, you know, being a chef, my wife basically has a restaurant in her kitchen, so not fair. So we sit down, we go over the week, we look at our plans. Are we seeing friends? Are we having family in town? And we tend to kind of plan out right there and meal plan in the spot. Sunday's a big cooking day for us, where I really try and get all my meals done for the week. And so Sundays is monster. She watches the kids. I spend a couple hours in the kitchen, and I set us up. So that's what I do, but I know a lot of people else have different strategies. Guys, 3 cloves of garlic. Again, you know, you can go with 1 clove if your kid is not a garlic fan, or if you're not a garlic fan, that's totally cool. And then I have some mint. This is fresh mint. Just kind of tear it off. Oh, smells so good. And just add that in. And you totally don't need the mint, but it really does kind of brighten everything. All right, now, next up, I want to pulse this together. You should have a button on your food processor that's pulse. That's why the button's there, right? We actually got to use that button. So what I want you to do is just kind of chop in that egg, that garlic, that mint, and just kind of go for it. The reason why we're not just leaving it on is it would become a little pasty. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. Oh, yeah, these look great. So I don't need my second egg, but here's what you guys are looking for, because you might need one. All right, I'm going to hold it up to the side here so you guys can really see what I'm going for. So I'm going to grab a spoon. And what you want is you want a mixture that you can roll into a ball, kind of like this. Okay, and this is about the size of a golf ball. And if it rolls, you're good. You don't need your second egg. So this is what we're looking for. All right, I'm just going to line it up. I'm going to do it again. Taking a spoon into my mixture and just rolling it into a golf ball. I want to start seeing your golf balls. Boys, over at Kim's house, I want to see it. Jason, you have a question?
Yeah, what if we're a little too wet right now?
If you're a little too wet, add a little more flour. So start with about a tablespoon or 2 of flour until you get that kind of golf ball consistency. Good question, Jason. Yeah, it's always a measuring game with these recipes. It's always kind of just like, you know, depends where you are in the world, the size of the eggs, you know, so you just got to kind of go for that texture. But as long as you can kind of get to this texture where you can kind of squeeze it and it holds together, you're in good shape. Nicole, how you doing? Thumbs up? Falafel, thumbs up? There we go. Liz? Melissa, thumbs up? Yeah, buddy. Crushing it. You guys are doing great. So again, these can totally be frozen. So you can make a ton of them ahead of time. If you do have kids, get them involved, just like Kim is. They can roll it. Guys, you guys are doing awesome. Boys, crushing it. I love it. So just roll out as many as you want. I'm going to do 6. This is so going to be my lunch today. Oh, my gosh. Think about what's in here. There's like literally nothing bad. A tablespoon or 2 of flour, that's it. The rest of it is just vegetables. So it's really good, and they bake up really nice and crispy. So at this point, I've got 6, And you guys can stop at 6, or you guys can keep going, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to take my little falafel balls, and I'm going to just put them on a sheet tray. And I put a little parchment paper down so they don't stick. You can also just spray it with nonstick spray. And I'm literally just going to take my hand and just kind of flatten it like a little puck. Just a little bit. This just helps it get a little crispier in the oven. And I'm going to hold this up so everyone can see. These look yummy. They smell amazing. How does yours smell? They're not even baked yet. They smell awesome. The mint, the garlic, so fresh. Sharon, you have a question with the cutest baby in the world.
Thank you. You mentioned about freezing it. Do you freeze it baked or do you freeze it
Yeah,
where you're at?
I would freeze it baked. You can freeze it where I'm at, but if you freeze it baked, what happens is they're already brown, so that way you can just throw them in the microwave or you can throw them in the oven and reheat them. They're just so much better. Especially you got your hands full. You got to do it all in one swoop. How old's your baby?
He is 2 months.
Oh, gosh. I have a 6 month, so I'm right there with you. You too. Hey, this is a good recipe for the next couple of months coming up. I'm right there. I love it. All right, guys. So once you have your falafel laid out on the tray, pop it in the oven. And the goal is we're going to let this go for about 8 to 10 minutes. We're going to flip it halfway through. So I need to call on one of you. I always do this. One of you needs to be my timer. I don't have a timer. So who's going to tell me when 4 minutes is ready? I'm looking at some of you. Nicole Allen, Kim and the boys. Sharon's going to do it? Okay, good. Good. Thank you, Sharon. She's got a kid and she's doing it, okay? She's got a 2-month-old. We all should aspire to be Sharon. All right, here we go. In they go, 450 degrees. We're going to flip it after 4 minutes. So Sharon, let me know about 4 to 5 minutes. Cool. Everyone with me? Thumbs up. It's okay if you're a little behind. Take your time. I'll give it a little breather. This is so good. So the next thing we're going to do, before I even start it, is called, I know this is a weird word, raita. R-A-I-J-T. Raita? Yeah, it was close. It's a cucumber. Also, a lot of people call it tzatziki sauce. It's a cucumber yogurt sauce. So delicious. You can use this as a marinade. You can put chicken in this. It gets the chicken incredibly soft. Yogurt really tenderizes chicken, but also it's a phenomenal salad dressing. So once you kind of learn this, you never really go back. This is a great one. So there's really 2 ingredients, but we're going to add just a couple more. You need some really good yogurt, and you need a cucumber, right? Simple, simple. So for the yogurt, I have a cup of yogurt, and I just kind of mix it to start, just to get all the lumps out. And try not to buy vanilla yogurt. I always do. I've done that before where you're making like a savory sauce. Whoops, I got vanilla, and now we have a vanilla salad dressing, and people hate my dinner. So just make sure it's not sugary or vanilla. It should just be plain yogurt. And then I have a little box grater. I think a lot of us have this at home. So many different choices. We want to go with this big grate right here, what you do cheese on. So I'm going to do about half my cucumber on this big grate and just start grating it. Really simple. Even kids can do this because you have this whole handle up here, so you're not really worried of anyone accidentally cutting themselves. But we're going to go with about half the cucumber. Save the other half for another day. And you're left with this beautiful shredded cucumber, which is so light, so delicious. And what I want you to do now is just take half that cucumber shreds and add them right in. Sorry, not half of it. Take all the cucumber shreds and add them right in. So you have something that looks like this.
Well, I like how you left the skin on. Is it true that that's where all the vitamins are in vegetables?
Most of the time, it is true. There's tons of nutrients and vitamins in the skin. So, yeah, skin is all. Guys, I do that with my potatoes. I do it with my carrots. I don't really peel stuff. I don't have time. I've got 2 kids under 2. And also, it's a waste, right? Why throw that away if it's edible and there's tons of nutrients? So it's a great question, and the answer is yes, don't throw it away. All right, so mix that cucumber into the yogurt. You have this very cool-looking sauce, and it's got a great texture. And I want to give some salt and pepper in there. Pepper if you like it a little spicy, but totally up to you. So a nice big pinch of salt. I like it a little heaty, a little spicy, so I'm going to add some pepper. And then, remember that other half a lemon we saved? Let's squeeze that in here. Nothing goes to waste, guys. This yogurt dressing will stay good in your fridge for up to a week. So it's definitely worth making. All right, this is looking awesome. I'll show you guys what mine looks like. So just kind of looks like yogurt with some really beautiful shreds of our cucumber. It's got a pop of lemon. I'm going to give it a quick taste. Let's see what we think. Now, if you taste it and you're like, it's good, but it's not great, add another pinch of salt. And if you have a little more lemon, add another squeeze of lemon, because it should really pop. It should be lemony, sour, salty, delicious. So take your time here. What's that?
You're at 4 minutes.
Oh, my girl Sharon. You rock. All right. So my yogurt sauce is done. Let's go check our falafel. Beautiful. So they're just baking up. And what I like to do at the 4-minute mark is just flip them. So just grab a little spatula. I got a little spatula in here. Yeah. Not a little one, but I got one. And I'm going to show you guys what I like to do. Is just take them on one side, flip them on over. And you can see it got nice and kind of golden brown on one side. You might need to leave yours in a little bit longer. I've got a nice hot oven here. But that's what you're looking for, just a nice little kiss of golden brown. And they're just cooking up into like these little gorgeous, flavorful pucks. They're amazing. Look at these. Aren't those cute? So easy. You can also make these really big guys and make burgers. So you could do veggie burgers like this, right? These falafel burgers. Oh, awesome. All right, back in the oven. Sharon, tell me 4 or 5 minutes, okay?
Sounds good.
You're the best. How we doing so far, team? Is everyone all right? I'm going to take a break. I feel like I'm flying through. We all are flying through. Let me see your yogurt sauce if you've got that ready. If you have questions on your... Oh, yeah, Melissa. Jason, beautiful. How's it taste? Nice, Liz. I love that, man. I love that sauce. You can just grill a piece of salmon and just dollop this sauce over the top. Whoo-wee! So good. So good. Makes it so fresh. Yes, it needs that pop of lemon. Needs it.
Yeah.
All right, so while our falafel are finishing up, it's kind of like, well, what do you want to serve this with? So if you're going to send it probably to, in your lunchbox with kids, I would probably just serve it that alone, maybe some carrot sticks, some apple slices, right? You could do a little dipping sauce of the right that my kid's obsessed with dipping. He calls it bipping. So I always have to have a little dip ready for him. But if it was for me, I'm going to make a sandwich out of this. So I thought we would kind of at least prep that. So you could grab a pita or two, throw it in the oven with your falafel. Just put it on a different rack. No need to put it on a sheet tray or anything like that. Just start to kind of toast it and get it warm. And then I've got some romaine lettuce. You can use any lettuce, but I always call this shreddis because what I'm going to do is literally just slice this lettuce as thin as possible. Shredding it. This is my shreddis, you guys. Don't you dare take that name. That is trademarked. I love it. So let's see. We got a couple of questions while we're waiting for this falafel and our shreddis to be doing its thing. One is, I've got a kid who wants to be a chef. What's the first thing we should kind of start by doing? Well, I think the kid should start cooking dinner for the family. So I think that's number one. 8 years old, you can boil pasta, you can handle a knife. a plastic knife, but cutting nothing too hard. But you can absolutely start cooking for the family and experimenting. As a parent, you got to be patient with your kid, and you got to be cool with a messy kitchen. I used to blow up my mom's kitchen, my dad's kitchen. So as long as a parent, you have some patience and some grace, you'll be good to go. But if you are a neat freak, getting your kid cooking early is not the best thing in the world. But I think it really helps with picky eaters. I used to be a really picky eater, and then I started cooking. And it just, once you get your hands on things and you make it, kids tend to be really open to it. I've taught 10 years of cooking camps for kids, and I see such a difference. They come in, and all they eat is like buttered pasta. And by the end of it, they're doing stir fries, and they're doing muffins, and they're doing so many things, and they're open to it because they made it. So that's a really big thing. Another good question I got was, what's my favorite easy meal to make during the week? I mean, this is up there. I love this, but I like to just make things on a giant sheet tray. I hate dishes. That's my thing. I hate cleaning up. So if you can get a giant sheet tray and imagine it like into different quadrants, you can put salmon on one side, maybe a little soy sauce, a little garlic, a little ginger. That sits over there, maybe a little honey. And then over here is your vegetables. You can do potatoes, you can do carrots, you can do so many different things. And just put the whole thing in the oven, let it roast for about 15 minutes till the vegetables get caramelized and the salmon just starts to kind of fall apart. And then maybe you're making some rice on the side or something like that. That's easy to me, right? You're cooking a rice maker and you're using a sheet tray. Cleanup takes about 5 minutes. So I like sheet tray cooking. That's my vibe. What about you guys? I'm curious. What's your go-to meal during the week?
You're at 4 minutes.
Love you, Sharon. Before I pull it out, someone's got to tell me their go-to meal, and I'm not taking it out until someone does. So those will burn unless someone tells me their go-to meal.
They actually do a lot of salmon in our house.
Oh.
We once a week.
Yes.
I don't know why. They just do.
Kids love salmon. I love it. All right, you saved the falafel, Liz. Good for you.
That's what I'm here for, you guys.
Ooh, taco bar. Yes. I love a taco bar. That never gets old. All right. So let's talk about these guys. Look at our little falafel. Oh, they're so cute. And at this point, they're just like this puck that you can kind of hold and handle. They're delicious. They smell incredible. You should smell the garlic. Aren't they pretty too? You just know you're eating something healthy when it's that color. I mean, that's all edamame. That's so cool. I'm going to take my tomato, you guys, and I'm just going to slice it. Nice thick slices. If you don't like tomato, I always suggest to get roasted red bell pepper. It's a really good swap out for things like salads and, you know, sandwiches when you don't like tomato. Cool. All right. Let's grab our pita. It's probably really hot. Yep. Oh, it is. Pita, come to me. Yes. Whoops. Let's close that guy. All right. So I've got pita. I've got my shreddis. I've got my yogurt sauce. I've got my falafel. I do want to call out the time, you guys. I mean, sometimes when we cook with the USO as a group, sometimes these classes take the full hour. Sometimes they don't. But I want to call out the fact that it is 8:30. We probably started cooking at like 8:05, 8:10. So this is a legitimate, I mean, it's been like 30 minutes. So if you can find half hour out of your day to make something like this, we're not cheating. You guys have seen me. I have not done one swap. You can rock this out at home. So grab your pita, open it up. Ooh, that's hot. And it has a little pocket. If you've got the little pocket, that's great. I love filling these little pockets up. I'll do mine a little close up so everyone can see. So I've got my little pocket here. I always like to start with a little bit of my yogurt sauce in the bottom. That way when you kind of get to the bottom, you get a little bit of that yogurt sauce. So I start with a little yogurt sauce in the bottom. I grab a couple of these falafel. Look how beautiful these are. I load them in. I then grab a little bit of lettuce and tomato. Kind of get that in there. Top it with a little bit more of that yogurt sauce. I mean, look at that, man. Is that not killer? And then, I mean, this is lunch. This is breakfast. This is dinner. We wanted to show you guys that it's something so versatile, right? And you bite into this, and I'll just cut into it and show you guys what the middle looks like. But you have this just like really vibrant, beautiful falafel. Let me see if I can just kind of hold it to the side here. Look at that. So you can see the falafel. You can see the tomato. Super healthy. The yogurt's delicious. All right, I'm going to try this.
It's also really pretty. I feel like this is the prettiest thing I've ever made.
What?
It's so pretty.
That's such a compliment. Oh,
All the colors.
I know. It's so good. It's so good. You could also just go like this. Another way to kind of think about this is you could just take a lot of the yogurt sauce. Let's say you're having company over, or you have a bunch of kids over at your house, or you just want to do this for yourself. Take a lot of the yogurt sauce in a bowl, right? Spread that in, and take your falafel and kind of just tuck those into the yogurt. Maybe add a little bit of that lettuce on top. You can add a little bit more pepper or tomato. You can chop up the tomato, so it's more of a salad situation here. So easy, so simple. And we all know if we had that for lunch every day, it's game over, man. You're eating healthy. You're eating delicious. So I would love to hear people's impressions. I'm going to just try. I'm a purist. Love it. Now, if yours needs some more salt, hit it with a little more salt. Mine did. But it is fluffy. It's light. And it's so healthy for you. It is so good for you. I love this recipe.
So good.
Isn't that good?
So good.
We didn't.
I'm gonna stuff my face on camera now, which I don't do.
Yes, and
Goodness.
here was also what's really cool. No oil. We didn't put anything in a pan. We didn't fry it. We baked it. Kids love them because they're not too overly powerful with the flavor. They're very neutral. You can also lay them out. You could literally take the whole mixture out and you can punch out different shapes. So I've done dinosaur falafel and house falafel and like little tree falafel. So they love that. They love to dip it. I mean, instead of a chicken nugget, you bust out something like this. You're golden. You're golden. How we doing, guys? Everyone good? All right. Well, it's 8:40, so it's an early one today. But I do want to say, and I say this every single time, we partner with a lot of people, a lot of different companies. We do a lot of classes. Nothing makes me more proud, and nothing makes me more excited than getting up and cooking with the men and women who are part of the military, who support the military, who are the spouses of military. I know that as a chef here in America, I could not be a chef. I could not be doing this job without being protected and without having the servicemen and women out there fighting for us. So I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you having me here. I appreciate this program. Nicole and Liz always putting this together. I love you guys. I've loved the relationship we've built. So with that, I'll give it back to you, Liz. But thank you all for joining, and I'll see you. I think we're going to come up with a Friendsgiving one. So we've got one in a couple months coming up. So I'm really excited.